Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I know for some of you, it may be lunch break. For some of you, it may be your afternoon tea time. I'm Jane Evio, Head of Customer Success here in ezyCollect. And today, I am doing this session with our lovely ezyCollect Payments clients, and we'll walk you through some of our exciting things that we've been doing on the ezyCollect Payments side and how we can help you enhance your payments experience. So before we get started, I just wanted to see where is everyone joining me today. If you've been to all of our webinars or this is your first time, I just wanted to give some housekeeping. This is a listen mode only, so unfortunately you'd hear me talk all the time, but I want this to be as engaging as possible. So we have our little chat button there if you want to just say where you're joining me from today. I'm here in Sydney, in our Sydney head office. And also we will have a question and answer at the end of this webinar, but all throughout this webinar, please do interact with me. And I'm happy to go through your questions, comments, and feedback. Yeah, so let's just get started. Some of the things that I would like to talk about for today. Let's go through some of the agenda. Like I mentioned, we are going to talk about ezyCollect payments and some of the innovations that we've done recently. We're also going to go through some of the different payment modules in our platform, namely integrate direct debit, things that you can do and how you can incentivize your customer to take up on this, and all the other product features that we've done. So I'll walk you through this, do a product training, and obviously at the end, we'll go through some of the questions that you may have. Okay, now before I get started with the actual agenda, I just wanted to quickly talk about, ezyCollect's mission. And this is really to eliminate late payments, which is then equate to 0 days late, right? This will help our clients, you guys, to empower your business growth and inject cash flow back into your business. This is really important for us, and everything that we do is obviously geared towards this. So we want to hear from you on what you'd like to see all throughout this webinar, as well as the end of this one, and how we can help you. Now, in talking about 0 days late, we've understand that there are a few things that we need to focus on based on our conversations with our clients like yourselves. Obviously, one of these first one is to have a really good practice on the credit approval. This will help you, our clients, to help anticipate and look at mitigate risk for the customers that you onboard. The other two focuses is that you want to introduce automation earlier in the process. And this is really, looking at the late payments, because you could be chasing your customers for someone you've given credit for 30 days and 30 days later after. So it's been 60 days and they still haven't paid you. So we want to introduce that from the beginning. And finally, the focus of this is the auto collect and auto reconcile, right? So eliminating the manual process so that you can enable and empower your team to do other stuff within your business that can help you scale and grow it even more. So like I said, I'm going to focus on the 2 and 3 things by walking you through different modules within the ezyCollect payments. So some of you here, I'm guessing actually most of you here would have already been migrated or onboarded to what we call ezyCollect payments. So ezyCollect is now streamlined our payments provider, and we have now taken this in-house. And why are we doing this? Simply because we really want to streamline the payments and transactions view for you so that you don't have to go to multiple windows, right? When you log into your ezyCollect, not only you have your usual accounts receivables, automation, sending of invoices and statements, but you can now also view your payments and transactions within one platform. And I'll show you this again later on. Today, we have already brought in-house the credit card processing that is already what we are calling ezyCollect payments. And very soon, we are going to release the bank transfer and incorporate it again within one platform. Furthermore, what this allows us is really to innovate faster because we control the payments processing. We can talk to you, our clients, and give us feedback and see what is really important and incorporate these to the features that we release in different stages. So that's really why we built ezyCollect Payments. Now, let's look at the current payments experience that you have when using ezyCollect. This is, really what is known to most of you here, which is essentially, using the accounts receivable collection and automations. So today you are sending invoices via ezyCollect, and, as a sample here in my screen, you can see in the invoice, you have the full payments experience where you're providing, a credit card, the Pay Now button. Simple, click that, it goes to Simply Paid, which then enters the credit card details. And this is consistent across through the offerings of ezyCollect platform, which is in the invoices, statements, and email reminders. Now, if any of you here have not done this yet, please let me know, because I can walk you through how you can do this, or you can reach out to your customer success managers and we can set this up for you. But today, this is what you're doing. Now, what this does is really like when you're sending your reminders, you're waiting for your customers, right? You're waiting for that time that they hit that Pay Now and pay you, right? But what if there are ways that you don't have to wait for them to do that, right? And this is what I'm going to show you next, right? So we're really excited to be in the first front, wherein when you send this, you're actually giving them the option that say, hey, I don't have to chase you anymore. You can give me your payment details and we can have a better relationship in terms of you pay me faster and I can deliver the goods faster to you, right? Depending on the type of your business. So again, just wanted to reiterate the different payments modules that are available to you today within your ezyCollect form: invoices, statement, email reminders, and anyone who pays through here will obviously have that auto reconciliation or automated payment allocation available that goes back into your ERP and reduces the manual work of allocating these payments. I hope that's clear, but I want to move on to the other exciting parts here. Again, if you have any questions, just feel free to interrupt me by sending it through the chat or through the Q&A. Now, these are the new things that we have been talking about. You've probably seen it in our newsletters and emails from your CSMs. I know we send a lot of these things, but if you just want to have a one-on-one chat with us, please feel free to call me or any of our CS team, and we'll be happy to walk you through. But today I want to talk more about these in details, right? Because these words, these terms here may not mean anything to you, but I want to see how it can help you, right? This is really taking it to the next level, right? So we have what we call Collect Now, which then applies to invoices. And then we also have in sales orders for some ERPs. I'll talk about that. And these are some of the manual tasks that you can do to get payments beforehand. You can also schedule payments, and finally the auto collect. So these are some of the different payment modules and automations that you can do when we talk about the next level. Okay, I actually want to switch now to show you how this works in an ezyCollect file, because it's really important that I can showcase this to you in a better way. So if you have two screens while you're joining me into this webinar, perhaps it'd be best if you log into your ezyCollect file, and then we can go through this together. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm just going to take a step back and walk you through the ezyCollect payments. So when you log in to your ezyCollect file, on the left-hand side, you'd have a new menu here called ezyCollect Payments, right? So first and foremost here, you would be able to see all the payment transactions that's now happening within ezyCollect Payments. I said this earlier, we wanted to streamline for you. So not only are you seeing your customers page here, but you're also now seeing all the payments that are coming through to Simply Paid, right? So if someone calls you, hey, I've already made a payment here, you can actually search for them here. You can say, okay, good place, have just made payments, and then you can see all the payments that have been made through that customer, right? From here, as you can see, what we've done is we've integrated here. So if that customer is within ezyCollect, you can actually click on that customer name and it will show you all the activity history as you know of it today, of all the reminders that we've sent, but as well as all the payments that have been made. So we've added payment activities now within ezyCollect, right? Again, it's all about streamlining one view and one platform. That's what we want to achieve here, and we're working on that. Just going back to the transactions page again, what are the few things that you can do here? Just a very, very quick training here is like, not only you can see the transactions here, but if any of your customers, for whatever reason, calls up and say, hey, we have not received the goods, or it was an overpayment, or they want to cancel the order, any manager users within the ezyCollect platform can actually process refunds here as long as they have refund access. Sorry, I need to just mention that. You need to have a refund access and you need to be a manager within ezyCollect. And it's very simple to do that. Click actions, you refund transactions, right? This will give you an overview of what is the transaction amount. You can refund it completely and fully, or you can refund it partially, depending on your agreement with your customer. So in this case, I'm just quickly showing this. So for example, these were like double orders, right? Just putting that, and then you can even say, hey, this is going to refund into your card, which ends at this number. So obviously everything is encrypted here and we're PCI compliant. So we're not showing any details here, but just the last 4 digits. Click refund, done and dusted, right? You obviously have to tell your customer that it will take 5 to 10 days for the funds to hit their bank account. As simple as that. We also try to make it easy by providing different filters here on different successful, refunded, or failed transactions, or all of the transactions that you want to see. Again, I have the filter that is just showing the customer, but if you remove that, you can see every bit of transaction that has happened through ezyCollect Payments. Now, what are we not showing here? Anything that's processed outside of SimplyPay. If they pay you through bank account, bank transfer that's outside of SimplyPay, we're not showing it here, okay? You can also do some reporting if you want to export, the transaction history, easy peasy. You can do it via Excel or CSV, right? So that's just a sort of, looking at payments, reporting, and all the transactions that happen. Now let's go to some of the cool stuff that I mentioned, which is taking it to the next level. Now, when you have ezyCollect Payments, I'm just going to switch into the next part. Now, I know I'm speaking here very fast, so please feel free to interrupt me at any point of time and send in your questions. But otherwise, I'm just going to continue chatting here with you. Okay, so when you have ezyCollect Payments, what you would notice is that you will have this new cool button here that's called Auto Collect Disabled. What does that mean? First and foremost, let's forget about that, okay? And let's take a step back here. I talked about Collect Now. I talked about, you've seen that those terms, Collect Now, schedule payments, and Auto Collect, right? Now, really what's important is before you can, do any of these features that we have, the first thing that we really need to think about is, okay, how do we acquire the payment authorities from your customers, right? Because without those, you can't process anything beforehand. This is probably very known to all of you as what we call direct debit, right? That's the word. It's been used, time and time again. Oh, I have a direct debit. Now we want to make it sound a bit cooler, but everyone's familiar with that, so we'll stick with it. Okay. Now there are a few things in your ezyCollect file. This is enabled. What does direct debit enabled means? That means you can actually go into your customer's page, and then if you decide to send a bulk email, which we all know we can do it today through ezyCollect, and say, hey, if you'd like to sign up to direct debit, then please do so using this direct debit. I can quickly show you how to do that. So easy, simply select all of the customers, or you can obviously choose and select which customers you want to offer direct debit. I'm choosing to send it to all of my 229 customers. It's just easy. You click actions, send email, and then we will have what we call here direct debit request template, right? And through this one, obviously we have a very simple template here, but feel free to change it, change the wordings as you see fit, right? As soon as you send this, then essentially you're telling them, hey, you have a new payment method that you can send us, set up your direct debit, we don't have to chase you, anymore, right? So that's one thing that you can do. You want to acquire this direct debit to all of your customers. Ideally, you want them all to sign up for that. Will they sign up? Probably not in one go, right? So you want to reinforce that. Reinforcing that doesn't necessarily mean you want to bombard them and keep on sending this email, right? Because you can incorporate this little button here that we have, set up direct debit, to all of your current ezyCollect reminders, right? When I say ezyCollect reminders, we all know what we're talking about. That's the first follow-up, new invoice, statements, and so forth, right? Again, you can just simply go to your settings, and then in your communication rules, set that up and have that set up direct debit button. It's not hard to find. If you just type direct debit here, there you go, you can have that there, which is essentially this one, this merge field direct debit form. I think we have a little question here. We do direct debit through a bank. How's yours very different? Okay, this is actually quite, I want to say it's a little bit more innovative because, right, why is that? When we ask, so for example, if I send this to my customers today, right, when they sign up to that direct debit, it will actually link that direct debit agreement to the customers that I have in ezyCollect, right? So I'll just show you how easy it is. So I send that to my customers, and then bam, like, it gets sent to all my 229 customers. Let's say one day later, I'm going to switch into my other test file because, not everyone is signing up to my direct debit right away. Now I want to know, okay, who signed up for this direct debit, right? Go to my customers page, go to the filter. You can actually see here we have what we call direct debit authority, and you can see acquired. So I'm talking the aftermath, right? You send the manual email, this is the aftermath. Bam, I have 27 customers who now has signed up to direct debit, right? So I've acquired them. So this is actually linking that direct debit authority to the customers here in ezyCollect. And then what can we do with these? This is where the cool stuff happens, everyone. First and foremost is now that they've given you that authority, you can do a couple of things. So for example, if I go to the good place, and this is taking it to first is the manual process, right? I can just come here, select any invoices that I want, right? And obviously this is not possible because it's over my transaction limit, but if it is, it will actually allow me to collect this amount, right? So that means that now that I've acquired this, I can take payment. I don't have to wait for the good place, to send the reminders and then make the payment later on. You, as our client, you have the control now to take this payment, right? If they're going maybe over their credit limit, then you have to say to them, hang on a second, you're gone above credit limit. I'm going to collect these invoices now based on the direct debit that you've provided. And you can easily do that, right? So you have to go to each customer to do so, right? It is still a manual process, but you know what? This is the more careful version of how you can start incorporating this, right? Now, if you have acquired, like I have, for 27 of my customers, it's a bit troublesome to have to go into each of these customers and then process the invoices for payments, right? So we've thought about this and like, hang on a second, how about similarly to how we send email reminders as bulk? Let's now do these as bulk collection of payments, okay? Bear with me. I'm moving here to this other menu here, which is invoices ready to collect, okay? So from those customers that I've acquired direct debit, I can now collect all of these payments, right? So this is through a customer level. I don't have to go and click through each customer, but it's telling me like, hey, these invoices I can collect today, right? So simply do that, and then you click collect now. As you can see, there are two different customers over here. So I have Amro, and then I have those ABC Studios. You can click collect now, and bam, you've just processed these full payments. Now, if you have this relationship with your customers and they say, look, not today, maybe Friday. Friday we'll have funds in our bank account. So you can simply click schedule payment and you can actually choose the date when you want to process these payments. Okay. So it is quite different from your direct debit through your bank, because I don't think they have these cool features through your bank. I'm pretty sure you still have to upload, these transactions, match the payments through the customers. But here we're trying to streamline it, right? And then you can start picking a date of when you want to process the payments. So if you agreed 18th, then you can do that and so forth, right? Again, this is only if you want to schedule it in a future date and you don't want to forget it. Let's say on Friday, you're going home early and you want to schedule it. So yeah, just come in here, schedule it. Or if you want to come in on Friday, then all you have to do is click collect now, and then it will just process all of those payments. Okay, clearly this is not working for me today, but it will work for you. That's for sure. Now, one thing though that I must mention here is all of these payments, if you already have your automatic payment allocation set up, it will work exactly the same. All of these payments will write back to your ERP and will mark these invoices paid, as long as obviously they have funds in their credit card, right? If it did fail, you'll be notified if they make these failed payments. Okay. So that is what we call collect now. Now, you might think, okay, that's still a lot of steps for me. I have to go in there, remember, go into the invoices, ready to collect, click this and that, right? So there's a few clicks there that, who really has the time to do that when you are juggling, multiple hats and doing multiple things. And this is where what we call auto collect comes in, right? So I'm switching it back here. Now, if you click on this one, it will take you to these settings and what we call auto collect over here. Now, this is simply telling ezyCollect now that once you acquire the direct debit for your customers, you are then allowing the system to automatically collect payments on the due date of those invoices, right, for those customers. So all you need to do is enable this. If you want to do test mode, it's fine. And then you also have a few settings here, for example, if you want an email notification to be sent to your actual customer, you can do that, or don't even bother notifying them. You can also have this option, don't notify. But if you want to make sure that you're informing your customers that, hey, I'm collecting these for payments, so make sure you have funds, then you can actually set it, right? We have a few settings here. And then you can finally set to automatically collect payments for you on your behalf without even lifting a finger at a certain time of day. So in this case, for me, it's 4 p.m., right? I save that and that's done. Okay. So it's essentially pretty much the same as what I showed you. But in this case, so if I go back to my customers over here, again, I can only do that for customers that have acquired direct debit. Okay, we cannot do that for anyone else. So otherwise, how would we do it? It's not magic. And so if I go, for example, to this customer, right? Okay, auto collect is currently disabled. So I need to change that to enable it. Enable that. Okay. And so what that means is for any of these invoices, okay, obviously these are already overdue. For any new invoices, on the due date, the system will just automatically take the payment, right? Now, these ones that are overdue, you would have to do the manual part that I showed you earlier, which is essentially, the same thing, ticking this box, right? And then processing collect now. That's the only way for the overdue invoices. But moving forward, what this allows you is then it's send and forget, right? You will get a reminder, an email telling you like, hey, these are the invoices that will be collected today. And it's just really an FYI. And then bam, the system will collect it for you and you don't have to chase them anymore. So obviously, if those payments go through, so for example, if you're using AutoCollect and the payments actually go through, then we won't send the reminders anymore, right? Because the invoices will drop. But if the payments fail, the system will be smart enough to pick that up, and the reminders will still go through as per usual, right? So you have a backup plan, right? You have the automation working for you to see if the payments are working. And then if they don't, then we go into the next part, which is sending the reminders. Okay, I hope that's clear. But I have, do I have any questions over here? Is there a refund function? Yes, there is. I actually talked about that earlier, which is on the transactions page over here, and you can select, the transactions that you want to refund. Again, only user access with refunds can do this, and you can easily action and refund transactions. Yep. Okay. So that is AutoCollect. Now, sometimes you wonder, hey, Jane, I don't want to keep on sending and asking my customer to sign up for a direct debit all the time, right? Because that can be annoying. Fair enough. That's totally understandable. Now, imagine you're sending a reminder to your customers, one of the follow-ups, right? They go through the normal SimplyPay page. I hope everyone is familiar with this. Just see. Okay. Sorry, I'm going through here, my other customers page, and I'm sending a reminder. So, when they click the pay now, it essentially takes them to the SimplyPay page. They can, okay. Yeah. So what's new in this SimplyPay page is you can see they can actually also sign up for direct debit through SimplyPay if they want to. Simply just clicking on that set up direct debit. Again, it takes them to that direct debit page where it allows them to do credit card direct debit. And then the other one is if they choose to make any payments from these invoices, right? So for example, $500 that I want to pay for this invoice, and then they click pay now, right? So they would pay the usual ones here. I don't think my auto pay is enabled here, but let me see in the other one. So this is just a normal flow of the SimplyPay. Just go back to this. Okay, this is the other one, sorry, wherein it also allows them to set direct debit. So you don't necessarily have to send a direct debit email all the time because we are again reinforcing it within SimplyPay, but I would highly suggest that you still try to incorporate it in your reminders. Maybe just on the bottom one, we can provide and help you with the wording, say, hey, if you want to sign up for direct debit, click on this button. Very simple and easy. But I did want to show you something here. Sorry, one second. So I know I'm going really fast, so just let me know if there's anything there that I'm missing and that is not clear. Okay, I'm just gonna disable this one. Okay, so just to show you how this works. Yeah. Now, from this one, you can actually see the direct debit has been acquired. And here what we call terms extended by 5 days. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what is that? Why did I just suddenly increase my credit terms? We had a chat with some of you here. Okay, how can I incentivize my clients to actually sign up for direct debit? Because some of them, I'll just pay when I want to pay you. But essentially, if you tell them, hey, if you provide me direct debit and I will extend your credit term by 5 days. That's definitely extending their cash flow as well, but it gives you that authority to, okay, direct debit after 5 days of their due date, then that's definitely possible. It is actually a setting that we have in ezyCollect. That's totally up to you if you want to offer this one. If you don't, then that's fine. You don't have to incentivize them. But we find that some of our clients' customers actually think, okay, I'm getting, a longer term, because imagine if they pay you anyway 60 days later, so you'd rather have 5 days. extension rather than, you know, an extra 30 days, you can actually do that within SimplyPay and just show it to them like, hey, if you sign up for direct debit, we'll extend your credit term for 5 days, right? Now, again, you don't necessarily have to do this, but it is something that you can definitely provide, yeah, within SimplyPay. Now, I had a question here that says they already use SimplyPay, and if you choose direct debit, can you still use SimplyPay? Yes, of course you can, right? Because from what you can see here, right, I have already direct debit enabled. So if I actually process this payment of, you know, $100, I can. But if for whatever reason, let's say today they want to pay through an Amex, then they just come here and then make a payment for that, click pay now, the same flow, exactly the same. So hopefully, Nick, I've answered the question. You're still sending them the invoices. They have that pay now there, so they still have that option to make payments. The only thing I would say there is if they have that auto collect, which automatically obviously process the payments, and then they come in here to SimplyPay, they might overpay. So just bear that in mind. There might be some double payments. But again, if that happens, you can easily process refunds through ezyCollect payments. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. So essentially what we're trying to achieve here is you want to remove as much barrier as you can possibly when you are offering different payment methods, right? So the goal always in ezyCollect is when you send your reminders, you know, whether it's a statement that you're sending or it's just an email, sorry, it's just an email, it's that you always have a clear call to action, right? What do you want to achieve when you send your emails to your customer is that you want to ensure that, okay, you're sending them, you know, the overdue invoice table, but hey, you can also click pay now. So if I do pay now, and then I can also add the direct debit merge field over here, right? And then once that's done, then, you know, they have all the different payment methods. And if they actually provide you the direct debit along the way, they don't even have to see these reminders anymore. So it removes that annoyance of, hey, I'm receiving, you know, multiple reminders, or I'm getting this, but I've paid for this, right? Because now we've streamlined all that flow for you. So again, I just want to wrap that up in terms of what I've discussed here. Just going back here to the slide that I had earlier. So collect now, this can be done through invoices and through sales order. For sales order, this is only available for NetSuite and MYOB Advanced. So if you're using any of these ERP and you want to take advantage of this, please let us know and we'll happily help you to implement this for you. Now, 1, 2, 3, these are all manual process that you still have to do once you acquire the direct debit, just an FYI, okay? Now, while it's manual, it's certainly a good way to start doing this if, you know, you want to be familiarized with the system, right? And then finally, this is the whole goal, right, is the auto collect, right? This is someone doing the collections for you on the due date, right? So you don't have to wait 10 days later, because if you're sending your first follow-up 10 days after or 30 days later, then you're almost like in the waiting game, like, hey, I need to make sure, you know, my customers pay me, and then wait for those payments to come into your bank account. But once you have auto collect, it's actually, we are going to tell you whether the funds are collected, successful or failed. And then that's when you can re-engage with your client, right? And the system will actually retry that. So yeah, it gives you the power, obviously, depending on your relationship with your customers, to ensure that your cash flow is right on time. You can predict that at the end of the month, all of these invoices will be paid if they're due at the end of the month, and you have acquired a direct debit for all of those customers. So really, it gives you back that cash flow. Then you can predict that, okay, next month, which is December, we'll have an awesome Christmas party, you know, for our business. Some of the things that, you know, we're building here. So other than that, we've done the product training. Obviously, if you have any questions, we can do one-on-one training session with each and every one of you here. But I just wanted to also highlight one of the other things that we've released is integration to an e-commerce site called WooCommerce. So if any of you here are actually using this, you can easily use ezyCollect payments. And again, it's all about streamlining, right? If you're using another payment provider, perhaps have a think and chat with us to see how we can integrate with your WooCommerce. And then it's all, in the transactions page. You can see everything within one platform over there. I am almost done with my presentation, but I did want to show you and give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming up within ezyCollect for our lovely clients. You get to know first because you're all awesome and you're all special. Next thing that we're working on is save credit cards. So this is a little bit different from acquiring direct debits because this is just in the normal flow. The Simply Paid, wherein they're entering their credit card details if they want to reuse this at a later stage, but not necessarily giving you direct debit. So you can't use this for the auto collect, but it just gives them again another option, right? Save this for later. I'm sure every one of you will be familiar with that when you're doing some online shopping and it asks you to save your credit card for future use. So we'll do something similar in Simply Pay. The next one is direct debit through credit application. Now, in this session, I've showed you how you can manually acquire direct debits, by sending reminders through the Simply Pay portal and so forth. Now, for some of you who are actually using credit applications, our online credit application, this is the beginning, right? The beginning of order to cash flow process. And this is where we want to start, right? So when you are analyzing whether you should give these customers some credit or the credit terms, are they worth doing business, maybe as a start, they're COD customers, then we can incorporate that direct debit part there, right? So there and then you can ask your customers to sign up a direct debit based on your terms and conditions, right? Before they can even start doing business with you, so that you can see history or how it works from the beginning. So then this will remove that part wherein you have to go back and look at all the customers that you haven't acquired direct debit yet, right? Because anyone you onboarded new clients, then we'll have this, right? So I think that's really exciting, but watch out for that. And finally, we have what we call balance payment automation. This will apply to some of you wherein you take a deposit when you send a sales order or invoices, you take 50% of, let's say, a $10,000 order. So you get the 50% already, but when the goods are ready to ship, you wonder, okay, now I have to chase my customer again to get their payment method. And it's a pain, right? Because imagine that's just one. What if you have 100 customers that you have to do that? So again, it's become a manual, repetitive work. But similarly to acquiring a direct debit, then essentially we'll do some automation there wherein the first payment that they provided you, you'll be able to collect the remaining balance. So the half of the balance, which is the 5K. And then done, close off the invoice, you can ship your goods. So some exciting things happening here. But finally, I just really want to hear from you. What do you want to see in ezyCollect, right? Is there anything else that you think, would help you, your business? Please put in the chat or send me an email. Essentially our team is here. You can see my personal email address there, but also our whole customer success team will be happy to help you. What are the action items from this webinar? Well, first and foremost, I hope it's really helpful to learn all these new features that we have on the platform. Now, I know I have gone through this very quickly, but we'll send the recording and we can do one-on-one sessions as well. I think it's very clear that you need to start thinking now who you're going to send those direct debit authority emails to. So go through your customers page, send them in bulk. Let us help you change your email templates to incorporate this. And then once you acquire those direct debits, enable auto collect, right? It's very simple. I've shown you that. We can do it for you if you need a hand. It's very simple. And then once that's all those two steps are done, then you can start seeing cash flow back into your business fairly quickly. So that's it. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. I know that's 45 minutes of your time. I hope that it's really valuable for you and you've picked up a few tips and tricks over here. But like I said, anything else, drop me a line. But once again, this is Jane Evio from ezyCollect. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good day.